get your chip when you get your COVID vaccination.
They want to alter us.
They're sharing false rumors and lies about COVID-19 vaccines.
This is the final enslavement.
And they have influence because they're religious leaders.
I look at anti-vaccine content all day, every day. My name is Kalina Kultai. So these figureheads who have a large platform, ties, are often respected, and they also have the cultural competency to understand what is important, what are the values, what is necessary to make that information powerful and resonate.
It's a minority spreading these false messages. Most leaders in every faith are trying to do the opposite.
The vaccine is a gift of hope.
But when religious leaders spread wrong information about vaccines, it can be powerful. In India, this man suggests the vaccine is an international conspiracy to feed cow's blood to Hindus. But there's no cow's blood in COVID-19 vaccines. A Greek Orthodox bishop says slaughtered fetuses are used to make vaccines. But this emotive language is extremely misleading.
There were 2 fetuses aborted in the 1960s that are used to produce a cell line that's still used today in the process of making the activated virus that goes into the vaccine. But that does not mean that they're taking aborted babies and putting it in your vaccines.
What? Disinformation. She just lied to her. She clearly just said that there are no aborted fetuses in the vaccine, but hey, they still use aborted fetuses in the cell line to create the dead cell to create the vaccine. Thus, there are aborted fetuses in the vaccine.
In Israel, a rabbi claims the vaccine will make you gay, which is nonsensical.
All those claiming to be saved.
And in the US, some evangelical Christians are debating whether vaccines are the mark of the beast, a sign of the devil, and the end of times.
I think it's difficult for social media companies to figure out where is the appropriate moderation limit when it comes to religious content.
Even when negative messages aren't necessarily false, they can have a big impact. Sitting in London, I received this message from a friend in Nigeria. But it came from Zambia, where the speaker, Nevers Mumba, is a politician and a former televangelist.
Zambia must not inject any vaccine in any Zambian body before strenuous verification.
There's a danger when someone as influential as you spreads a message like this publicly, they undermine confidence in the vaccine. Why did you feel the need to make this statement publicly?
I think it's my moral obligation as a leader to make that public, because it puts our authorities on alert to realize that we are not just people who receive anything that comes to us, but all we are saying to our people, make sure it is safe.
Is pre-regulation by the WHO, that isn't enough by your standards?
No, not at all, not at all. When Pfizer hit London, London had to do its own verifications and ensure that they're satisfied.
Even if the intent of the person who's posting it is not necessarily to spread misinformation, it can be interpreted as a message to not vaccinate.
Dr. Teddy Andrew Mulenga challenged Nevers Mumba publicly. I asked him why.
For us here, pastors, they have huge followings, and whatever they say is taken as gospel truth.
He believes that Zambia, like other countries have done, should trust the WHO's rigorous pre-regulation to get the vaccine quickly.
I am a doctor, but there are more people listening to him.
It's crucial that religious leaders get vaccine messaging right.
Halal is very important for Muslims.
In 2018, the highest Muslim clerical council in Indonesia said a measles and rubella vaccine wasn't halal.
The MUI then issued a fatwa that this, even it is not halal, but it still can be used.
But that mixed message meant many parents refused to vaccinate their children. Now, with the coronavirus, they want to do things differently. They put out a fatwa saying the COVID-19 vaccine from Sinovac is halal before the rollout in Indonesia began.
I think it's incredibly important for religious leaders to spread accurate and up-to-date information about vaccines, and making sure that that information that they're spreading is relevant to their congregation.
Because a delay in vaccinating means more lives lost.
We need the vaccine. We need people to buy in.
Well, you see, you got most of the world really buying into this whole Maxine ordeal. Okay. This is all praise the Most High Yahweh Bashem Shai, Bashem Kakodash, double honor to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, rule well. Peace and salutation to your brothers and hope elect, push this word, truth and sincerity. This is misinformation. So like it's gonna be Maxine, misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. Alright. And I want you to see that just to show you how hypocritical and how contrary to each other they are when they're bringing out this information. I mean, they say one thing, but then they'll come back and say another, you know. So check this out. We're going to get, I got another video. This is on the mRNA, how it works, because, you know, as people say, it doesn't change your DNA, but it does change your mRNA. All right, so check it out. It does change your RNA.
Two vaccines approved to combat COVID-19 are the first medicines of any kind based on mRNA. Conventional vaccines contain dead or inactive virus particles, but mRNA vaccines work differently. mRNA is a bit like an instruction manual. Virtually all the cells in our body use mRNA to build proteins. In the new COVID-19 vaccines, mRNA carries instructions for building a copy of the spike protein, the part of the virus that attaches to our cells. By itself, the spike protein is harmless, but it trains the immune system to fight the actual virus. But mRNA is fragile and breaks down quickly.
Why not just allow the immune system to fight it? You know, that's the greatest defense in which Yahweh Bashem Shai has given the body, is the immune system. Why not let it work, do its job?
Protect the mRNA long enough for it to reach a cell, scientists wrapped it in a protective bubble called a lipid nanoparticle.
All right, so they said that. So you know, the information has been said that nanobots or nanotechnology or nanoparticles are inside of the vaccine, which it just said that they wrapped it in nanoparticles. But they'll tell you that, oh no, nanotechnology is not in the vaccine. But it just said it is. Go ahead.
RNA is very susceptible to being digested by enzymes called RNases, and so the lipid nanoparticles protect the RNA and help
the lipid nanoparticles
deliver the RNA to the inside of cells. If RNA is lying around outside of cells, it won't get turned into a protein.
Because mRNA breaks down at room temperature, the vaccines need to be kept extremely cold. These new COVID-19 vaccines represent the culmination of decades of research into mRNA medicines. mRNA-based drugs have potential well beyond this virus. They are now being developed and tested to treat a wide range of diseases. The first...
Okay, so you got that there. Let's get this here. This is misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Okay? Misinformation. False information with no intent or no intentment of harm, meaning not intended to harm. Okay, that's misinformation. So if you get some information and you put it out there, you don't really know much about it. You don't really know as much about it. You put it out there, but it's it's not the right information. You're trying to warn people and let them know. you know, then it's misinformation. Disinformation is false information intended to harm. Okay? And then you have malinformation, which is genuine information intended to harm, includes leaks, harassment, and hate speech. Okay? Disinformation and malinformation is Esau, Edom, all there's their name all over it. Okay? That's the things that they do, and they use their witchcraft, their mediums or media to put disinformation out there. Okay? And they also they attempt to control all sides, but you also have misinformation. I mean, sometimes, you know, we can get hold of some information and it be misinformation, you know, and it doesn't even necessarily be misinformation. It could be something that's fact checked, but it doesn't happen at the exact time in which it said it's happening. You gotta remember, Esau Edom always changes laws, always changes times, and always changes seasons. Okay? So you gotta be aware of that. Let's get a couple of scriptures. But you see, so the mRNA is encoded or compacted inside of nano technology. You see that? I mean, is that misinformation or is that disinformation? I'm just giving you information of what I've seen, what I've shown you. All right, this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, meaning his trickery, his deceits, his cunningness. And this medium is used highly as far as his trickery, his cunning, his deceits, because he'll tell you things and he'll do something different. He'll do something else and he'll tell you something else. You got to watch out for that. You got to understand the nature of your enemy. Okay? Let's see. This Revelation chapter 13 and 3. And it says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. Okay? And the word wonder goes into basically being marveled, meaning they marveled after the beast. They were amazed. They was wowed by the things that the beast produced. This whole beast system, you know, such as these new Maxines. The world wanders after it. The world marvels after it. Literally, you know, the new technology. The world is totally into whatever they put out. You know, they're literally marveling after everything that's put out here. But this is for the elect. The elect will, check this out. Matthew chapter 24 and 24. For there shall arise false anointings and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. And them being marveled, they marvel after the beast, or they're wondering after the beast, due to those great signs and wonders. Insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. But guess what? It is not possible. That's why it says, if it were possible. It's not possible to deceive the elect, because the elect will watch in everything. The elect will watch all of what's going on. So we say a wise man will fear in everything, meaning you'll watch. You'll be cautious of everything that you're being told. You'll be cautious of everywhere you go. You'll be cautious of all the information that you take in. You'll be cautious of what information that you put out. You'll just be cautious of everything, meaning you'll watch your steps. You're not just gonna go. Okay? But so this has been Maxine, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So I hope you're edified in this. Shalom.